WEHOnews.com is a community news and information resource for the residents and businesses in West Hollywood. WEHO News is predominantly a creation of the residents of the city. It has around 20 regular contributing writers who write on their fields of interest. And the editor and publisher is Ryan Gierach. Ryan, great to see you.
Same here, Mike.
The Supreme Court ruling on the use of TARA, how long has the issue been running?
5 years ago, the city decided that the largest extant green space and mansion still in the city should be redeveloped. It was given to the city by a lady named Elsie Weissman, who died at the age of 94. After her death, the city decided that they would build affordable senior housing on that property. One of the primary objectives of the city is to create more density and especially affordable housing. However, the critics of their move said that, or claimed that the city had not given alternative uses for that site adequate consideration. They had moved ahead and gotten a HUD grant for $4.5 million and committed to building senior housing projects without initial public input. That's 5 years ago. There have been quite a few battles waged over TARA in that time, with the opponents of TARA being called senior haters, which is unusual since many of them are seniors themselves. The entire issue got to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decided that yes, indeed, the city had walked past its requirement to go through the California Environmental Quality Act, the CEQA, and do due diligence on public input. The practical effect of it is next to none. The Supreme Court told the city that it needed to start at the beginning and to go through the development agreements once again. However, the city can go ahead and do that with the intention of still making it senior housing and go through the shadow dance of obtaining public input. So, you know, it's a difficult issue that's raised a lot of emotions, but it's one that the city seems bent on completing their way, and it appears they will.
What is the West Hollywood community reaction to the Supreme Court decision?
It's mixed. The people who are behind the saving of the property as a community or cultural center is a group called Save Tara. They're elated over the decision because they believe that, along with another lawsuit that's still wending its way through the courts, they can put up enough roadblocks and delay the project long enough to make it too expensive to build as senior housing. So the side of the fence that is very supportive of the city's efforts to create more additional, more affordable senior housing, they're not very happy about it at all, but they're still confident that they can get the project done.
So what's likely to happen next?
Next, the Supreme Court mandated that the appeals court must oversee the city's repeal of the development agreements, and also the HUD grant must be renegotiated. The city will do that and then proceed to authorize those redevelopment agreements after they go through a CEQA process.
Is lack of community consultation a major issue in the West Hollywood community?
It is. There are constant complaints of backroom deals, promises being given to developers because they fund the hugely expensive city council campaigns here in West Hollywood. And the mixed-use ordinance, which was in debate a couple of years ago, was very controversial. Because it appeared to the residents of the city that there were too many special deals being made for developers. And so it is a problem. Just last week, another development against which opponents fought, the Palm project, the famous Palm restaurant, is hoping to rebuild two residential towers with their new restaurant underneath. The suit was settled the city essentially had to once again start over from scratch and go back to the beginning because they'd walked past the public noticing process when they'd made special arrangements for that building to come to fruition, as well as 49 other buildings across, or plots of land across the city. So it is a problem, one which is tied somewhat to campaign finance reform, and it also involves the development of the city.
So if somebody wants to find out more about West Hollywood, how do they do that?
WEHOnews.com.
Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.